Our final etude for this year's TMEA audition is Brandt Etude number 15. This is obviously the most technical of the three etudes, so I encourage you to choose small chunks of music and work on them at a very slow tempo before pushing them any faster. Always remember that slow and accurate is better than fast and sloppy. A quick note about the instruction at the top of the etude where it says play with a light staccato. This does not mean that we want the notes to be short and choppy. That's obviously not very musical. Also, we do not want the notes to be too long and connected in a legato manner. That almost sounds monotone and is also not very musical for this particular style. Instead, we want the notes to have a clear front and bounce, and almost sort of have a buoyancy to each note. That way, each measure sort of skips along and the music is always moving forward. One thing you can do to help improve your technical facility on this etude is to find other material that is similar to it. This breaks up the monotony of practicing one etude over and over and over. So I highly recommend the Clark Technical Studies. This particular etude uses a lot of third finger, and because it's rooted in A major with lots of accidentals. So if we go to the Clark Technical Studies, studies, the second study, fourth, fifth, and sixth studies, those have lots of exercises that are going to work out that third finger, especially if you find the exercises that are in A major, A flat, E flat, and E. That's going to use that third finger quite a bit. And as you practice those exercises, you can also articulate them instead of just slurring them. That will help you with the articulation that we need for this etude as well. Unfortunately, finger dexterity is not the only technical challenge we face in this etude. Another one is wide lip slurs. For example, measure 7, where we're required to slur from an E to an F sharp. So in addition to your daily practice of lip slurs out of books like the Iron's 27 Groups of Exercises, we can create our own little lip slur exercise for just this measure. Once you feel comfortable and confident with that E to F sharp slur, then it's almost time to add it into context. And a middle step here is to change the rhythm of measure 7 to give you a little bit better chance of slurring that interval accurately. What I like to think of here is lengthening that bottom note and then springing up to the top note. And then we can turn that rhythm around so that the E is shorter than the F sharp, and then we really are springing up to that F sharp. Once you're able to play that measure in that manner, then you're ready to put it completely into context with the running 16th notes. A similar challenge to measures 36 through 40 is the last line of this piece, where we have a broken arpeggio all the way up to C sharp. And we'll approach it in very much the same manner that we did measures 36 through 40. So we'll begin slurring everything. So there I just did 2 measures. Now I may add another measure. And I'll continue to work my way through that entire passage. Again, working the tempo faster and faster, and then adding the articulation in. This helps build our confidence with this last line of the etude. This is probably the most difficult part of the etude, and it's at the very end of the piece. So our nerves are a little bit heightened by the time we get to that point, so we need to have rock solid confidence. So if you practice this very, very slowly, slurring it and then articulating it, you will not only improve your accuracy, but also your confidence. So now that we've talked about most of the technical aspects of this piece, there's one thing that we can discuss that will help us perform all that technique much more efficiently, and that's our breath control. As you know, there are not many places throughout this etude to get a breath, so it's imperative that we begin with the biggest, fullest, and most relaxed breath possible. So what I like to do is inhale over the course of 2 full measures. So I'm thinking the tempo of the etude, and then I inhale for 2 measures and then begin the piece. This helps me start with a full tank of air. Then I've added 2 quick sip breaths, measures 21 and 28, to sort of get that tank back up to about halfway before I get to measure 48 where that retard is, and then I can take a couple seconds to get a nice big full breath again before I begin in measure 49. So to help us with these sip breaths, there's a little exercise we can do to get these breaths in a relaxed manner. So I'm first going to have a metronome on here, and I'm going to think in 4/4 pattern, okay? And I'm going to inhale on beat 4. 1, 2, 3. Making sure that I stay nice and relaxed during that inhale. Now I'll breathe in on the and of beat 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now do the same thing, breathing on that last 16th of the measure. 1, 2, 3, 4. This will help me get that quick breath in a relaxed manner. So there is a final tip on breathing that will help you perform all the technique in a much more relaxed and efficient manner. Good luck.